I am going to start this video by reading one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite authors, Napoleon Hill, in the book Laws of Success. Here it goes. The most successful men and women on earth have had to correct certain weak spots in their personalities before they began to succeed. The most outstanding weaknesses which stand between men and women in success are intolerance, cupidity, greed, jealousy, suspicion, revenge, egotism, conceit, the tendency to reap where they have not sown, and the habit of spending more than they earn. Regardless of what your major aim in life may be, you will attain it with much less difficulty after you have learned how to cultivate a pleasing personality and after you have learned the delicate art of aligning yourself with others in a given undertaking without friction and envy. That's powerful, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. The most important investment that you can make, the most important thing that you can ever do, is to work on yourself. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the power of having a good personality, the power of having a refined character. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Petronella Mnenja. I'm an author. This is my latest book, From Gokwe to Oxford, The Girl Who Dared to Dream. It's available on Amazon. Please do get a copy. If you're watching me for the first time, welcome to my channel. If it's the second, third time, it's always a pleasure having you here. So let's get to today's conversation. What is the biggest thing that you have to do? The biggest thing that you have to do is to work on yourself. There are a lot of insufferable human beings. There are a lot of people who close opportunities on themselves because of how they relate to people. Have you noticed? And this is a very interesting and tricky example, but I'm going to go ahead and go with it. Have you noticed that in some instances, let me say some is safer than most. In some instances, have you not noticed that if you go to an organization, the higher you go up in the hierarchy, the nicer the people become? The higher you go up, the nicer the people become. Notice I didn't say that this is the norm. I said that in some organization. And the reason why they have gotten to where they have gotten has more to do with their attitude, their personality, just as it has with their skills and their ability to do their job. Have you noticed that there are some instances where there are two people who are vying for the same position and one person gets picked over the other? Though they seemingly are more qualified than the other person, the criteria, the distinguishing feature between those two people is their personality. And this is what I want to tell you. I have seen so many people lose out on opportunities simply because they had a terrible character. I have friends in positions of access who tell me stuff. You know what? Some people have missed out on job opportunities because of the way they carried themselves. Some people have missed out on a great and amazing opportunities because of how they treated the get person, of how they treated the person who was waiting on them. How do you treat people? The first thing that you need to work on is build an amazing personality. Learn, and here is the thing. You can, an important lesson to remember is not everything observed should be said. And I feel like this is a touchy-feely area, a very important area when it comes to personality. One of the most important things that you can do is to have a pleasant personality that engages, that accommodates, and that talks to people. And the starting point is not everything heard has to be commented on, and not opinion developed in your head has to be shared. There are so many people who, though they're coming from a place of good intentions, they unwillingly criticize people. They speak down on people. They speak down on people's ideas. They bring people down. Whether it's willingly, whether it's not, but the way they communicate themselves, they are harsh in how they communicate their criticism. They are judgmental, they are pushy, they have this personality, there's this air about them that is quite I don't like this word, but I'm gonna use it. That is quite toxic. So the first thing that you need to learn in building a good personality is the art of conversation. How do you have conversation with people without disrespecting them, without disrespecting yourself, without selling out on what you believe in, without compromising on your convictions and your belief systems? How do you just relate to people? And the first one is respect people and never associate people to their opinions. Okay, what I mean is, when you look at someone who disagree with you, they are disagreeing with you in terms of principle and opinion, not in terms of your humanity. They are still a human being, just as you are a human being. So when you look at a person and they are disagreeing with you, look at it from a position of, this is a human being created in the image of God, smart in their own right, but they are disagreeing with me on this particular subject. This has nothing to do with us personally. This is just a subject area of discussion that does not affect either of us in any way. So start distancing your perception and your broader belief systems in conversations with people. Don't be too judgmental. Don't be too quick to correct people. Don't be too quick to convince everyone to see life the way you see it. Newsflash, you might be wrong. Be a little bit more attentive. Listen to people. Genuinely listen, not to respond but to understand. Genuinely listen to people. Genuinely take time to understand people's views. Genuinely be interested in people's lives. Haven't you met people that they're trying to sell you something and you just can't buy it because the person is so cold and so distant and they have absolutely zero regard for you? So when you are in whatever position where you deal with people in whatever capacity, learn to listen to them. Learn to genuinely take interest in other people. One of the key issues in being a pleasant person is the ability to listen to people and actually listen. The ability to know how to share your opinions in a respectful manner, respecting yourself and the next person. So that's the first thing to look out for. Have an actual respect for people in conversation. And the third one is, I just said third one because I feel like I've talked about all of things. Let me just say the next one. Okay, the next issue is have genuine compassion. Let me put a disclaimer. We are living in a world that has politicized compassion. We are living in a world that has politicized sympathy. So the more sympathetic you are towards a particular cause, the more noble and a person of integrity you are, which I quite don't agree with. So what I'm talking about is not compassion to a cause, to an ideology, to a particular political view or not. I'm talking about genuine compassion for people. When you meet people, put yourself in their shoes. And this has to, when you engage with anyone, let it be from a position of, this could be me. How would I like someone talking to me this way? How would I respond to someone treating me this way? Have genuine compassion. Whatever action that you take to the next person, let it be rooted in compassion. And notice, I'm not saying compromise on any of your principles. You can be very stern, very principled, very disciplined, but also compassionate. Compassion makes you lenient and nice and kind, but not necessarily a person of compromised views. So you have genuine compassion. And this is something that I'm constantly learning. I'm quite a strong personality. I'm quite low in agreeableness. And my instinct is to say, okay, you could do better. My instinct is to hold people to a standard that I hold for myself. And it's something that I'm learning each and every single day, that if I'm going to become a better person, I need to learn to be a little bit more compassionate. So be compassionate in how you relate to people. Be compassionate to how you engage with people. And the other thing is, learn to be happy for people. Jealousy is a very bad color on anyone. Jealousy is a very bad color on anyone. And I think if you want to have an honest litmus test on your personality and on what you are as a person, look at how you react to people's good news. How does hearing that someone you know did well make you feel? How does hearing that someone that you're competing with at work got a promotion and you didn't? How does hearing about other people's good news make you feel about yourself, make you feel about them? Alternatively, how does hearing about other people's bad news make you feel about yourself? Because there are some people who actually take pride, who are actually happy because something is happening to their competitor or someone whom they don't necessarily see eye to eye with. How do you react to people's bad news and people's good news? Be relatable, be a person of integrity, be a person who actually holds people in some regard. I am against, and I don't even know how many times I've said this, I am against people who try to use people for any particular reason, in any particular situation. Never put yourself in a situation where you are using another person. Never put yourself in a situation where you have to use someone to get ahead. And because the thing about using someone or taking advantage of someone to get ahead is, you might have succeeded in that particular moment, but the thing about life is you can't keep a good man down. And truth is so powerful, it's often surrounded by lies. So you might have succeeded in that particular moment, in that particular issue, but in the long run, I can assure you it's going to come back and backfire in your face, because that's how life works like. And what I'm going to conclude this video by saying is, it's easier to become successful than it is to remain successful. And the key ingredient is character. Your character, your gift, your skills, your access, and every amazing thing about you may set you up for a promotion, may set you up for a good life, may set you up for a contract, may set you up for opportunities. But your character determines how long you last and how long you exist in those spaces. And this is it. Work on your personality. Be a good person. Be a good person. And I know how subjective definitions of good and stuff are like, but just be a person who is pleasant to have conversations with. Just be a person who is pleasant to be around. Just be a person who is genuinely happy for other people, and a person who does not celebrate when other people fall. When you work on yourself, and I promise you this, the easiest thing to change on earth is to change yourself. The easiest thing to change is to change yourself. You can't change literally anything else in the world, but if you change yourself, the ripple effect comes in every other aspect of your life. The moment you change yourself, the moment you grow, the moment you become better, this is a ripple effect that's felt in every other aspect of your life. So do the work, invest in being a good person, invest in character development, invest in better communication skills, invest in better listening skills, invest in celebrating joy for other people. And the starting point is celebrating your wins and your joys. And if you master this art, if you become a good person, if you become a person who is an absolute joy to be around, I assure you it will open more doors for you than your degree could ever do, than your skills could ever do. People may not tell you this often. It's a well-guarded secret, but it's also a public secret. Your character, your position, your character and your personality is what opens or closes doors. Work on that. Have a pleasant personality, whatever that looks like for you, but there are general issues that I've brought up in this video. The key takeaway is work on the person that you are, work on your character, work on your personality. People invest in people. People invest in people. Okay, that's it from me today, guys. Have an absolutely amazing week and see you next week.